Most people don't like talking about this honestly, because the moment you mention promiscuity, people either become defensive, judgmental, or completely emotional. But whether society likes it or not, choices have consequences. And for many women over 30, certain realities start becoming harder to ignore. Not because they are evil, not because they're worthless, but because life eventually forces everyone to confront the results of their lifestyle. One of the biggest realities is relationship difficulty. A woman may have beauty, confidence, money, and experience, but still struggle to keep a long-term relationship. Why? Because many men care deeply about exclusivity, emotional stability, and a woman's relationship history. You can argue whether that is fair or unfair, but attraction is not always politically correct. A lot of men simply don't feel comfortable committing to a woman who has had a long history of casual encounters. And the older she gets, the more difficult it may become to find a man willing to overlook it. Another reality is emotional exhaustion. At first, casual relationships can feel exciting. New attention, new experiences, new validation. But after years of temporary connections, many people begin to feel emotionally empty because deep down, human beings are wired for meaningful bonds, and constantly starting over with different people can become draining. Some women over 30 begin to realize that despite all the experiences, they still feel alone, especially when friends around them are building families, raising children, or settling into stable relationships. Then comes social judgment. People often pretend society has completely changed. It hasn't. Double standards still exist. A man with a reckless dating history may be praised. A woman with the same behavior is often criticized. Again, that may not be fair, but it is still reality. And once a woman reaches her 30s, society usually expects maturity, stability, and intentional living. That pressure can affect confidence, mental health, and even dating opportunities. Another issue many ignore is emotional baggage, repeated heartbreaks, failed situationships, toxic relationships, and trust issues can slowly build over time. Eventually, some women find it difficult to emotionally connect, trust deeply, or maintain healthy attachment. Not because they want to fail, but because repeated disappointment changes people. Health concerns are also part of the conversation. The more sexual partners someone has, the higher the exposure to risks if proper precautions are not consistently taken. And beyond physical health, mental and emotional well-being can also suffer. Anxiety, depression, attachment problems, loneliness. These things are more common than people admit publicly. Then there's the reality of time. After 30, many women begin thinking seriously about marriage, children, and long-term security. And this is where panic sometimes starts, because dating in your 20s feels very different from dating in your 30s. The options change, expectations change, energy changes. Some women suddenly realize the type of man they truly want also has standards of his own, and finding genuine compatibility becomes harder than it looked years earlier. But this conversation also needs balance. Not every woman with a promiscuous past is unhappy. Not every woman over 30 is broken, damaged, or incapable of love. Some learn from their mistakes. Some mature emotionally. Some completely transform their lives. People can grow. People can change. And a person's entire value should never be reduced to their sexual history alone. Still, the bigger lesson remains the same. Freedom does not erase consequences. Every lifestyle comes with outcomes. And eventually, all of us, men and women alike, have to live with the results of our decisions. That's why self-respect, emotional discipline, and intentional living matter so much. Because real fulfillment usually comes from stability, honesty, purpose, and meaningful connection, not endless temporary pleasure.